Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope all is well. Today I want to talk about Ayesha Curry and how y'all are dead wrong for how you all are bashing that woman for telling the truth, okay? I'm going to break it down for you. So recently Ayesha Curry was on the Call Her Daddy podcast and she was doing an interview talking about her life, and there was a moment where she spoke about not wanting to be a mother and not wanting to have kids and not wanting to get married previously. So the interviewer asked her if she wanted kids and did she ever dream of being a mom and having kids before it happened. And she honestly answered the question and said, no, I actually didn't. I wasn't one of those girls that dreamed of getting married and dreamed of having kids. I thought that I was going to be like a career woman. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she said.
Okay, 4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals, and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
And so many people on the internet are upset with her, claiming she's embarrassing her husband, who has already come out to defend her. And it's just crazy to me because context is so important. I've seen all over the internet people taking this clip, sharing it, and people commenting on it without even the full context of the question, without it even being shown that she was actually answering a question, that she wasn't just randomly sitting there in front of this woman saying, you know what, I never even really wanted to be a mother. I never wanted to have kids. I didn't want to get married to anybody. I don't know what happened. No, she wasn't doing that. She was asked a question. Did you want to have kids and get married before it happened for you? When you were younger? And she answered it honestly and said, no, I didn't think about that. There's a couple of reasons why it's like I'm highly disappointed in everybody that is negatively talking about Ayesha Curry in this moment. One of the main reasons are that y'all didn't watch the whole interview. I actually sat there and watched that interview before it became this whole big thing. And I ended the interview thinking, man, she is madly in love with that man. I ended that interview thinking she wanted that man bad. She made it clear in the interview that Steph Curry was a commodity that a lot of the girls, because she met him very young. I think she was like 13 or 14 when she met him initially, and they attended the same church. And a lot of the girls in the church wanted Steph, including her. And she talked about how surprised she was that he even liked her back. And she had a huge crush on him. And all the girls liked him. Like, she talked about him so highly and how sought after he was.
And so he goes, "Do you still live in LA? I'm here for a camp. Do you want to hang out?" And I'm like freaking out because this guy, he was like the guy at church. Like all the girls loved him.
So I ended that interview thinking, man, this girl really likes this man. She loves him. She's always loved him. She always wanted him. And so when you put that into the proper context, you understand when she says, I didn't think of getting married or having kids. It's really in the context of I loved this man that much, that something that I didn't think I was going to do. I thought I was going to be a career woman. I thought I was going to do all these other things. But this family situation with this man is something that I prioritized over all of that. And the other reason why y'all really got this all messed up is because do y'all know that Steph Curry and Ayesha Curry got married in, I believe it's 2011. Do you know how old Ayesha Curry was when they got married? Homegirl was 22 years old. She was a baby when she got married to Steph Curry. Do you know how old Ayesha Curry was when she got pregnant with her first child? 22. And she had that baby at 23. So Ayesha Curry didn't really have an opportunity to live life before she immediately became a mother and a wife at the very beginning of her adulthood. Also, if you watched the interview, which many people didn't, she talks about how when she met Steph Curry and they became good, close friends, he didn't have aspirations for becoming a professional basketball player. When they dated, she didn't know that he was going to become a professional basketball player. That's not, she wasn't chasing after him for, hoping to become a basketball wife. He said he wanted to be a basketball coach. And she was an actress chasing her actress dreams, hoping to one day be a star. He wanted to be a basketball coach. So obviously she's not going into this situation thinking, okay, this is a basketball player. I'm going to have to be a basketball wife. And no, she didn't enter that relation. That wasn't that kind of relationship. It was, everybody had their own dreams and that they were intending on pursuing their own dreams. But when she ended up getting married and getting pregnant, all of her dreams were sidelined so early at 22. All of her dreams were sidelined. Anybody who has a problem with her saying that at getting pregnant at 22 sidelined my dreams, I was so young. Anybody that has a problem with her saying that is cruel. It's cruel. She's 22. She was so young when she was hurled into this life of being a wife and a mom. That's very young.
Pausing on you guys as a couple, now let's talk about you as an individual, though, because you had this dream. And did you feel like in moving with him, did you feel like you had to pick between your career and your relationship at that point?
Yes. To an extent. That was never presented in front of me that way. It just kind of had to be that way. And because after we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly, I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
Okay, rewind 2 steps.
Yeah.
Married at 22.
Yeah.
How did you know you were ready for that?
I didn't. I just knew that I loved him, and I'd never like experienced anything else. I'd never felt any differently than like, this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. And so we kind of just dove in. And
so like a few months after getting married, you just said you get
3 months.
Okay. What was going through your head when you found out that news?
I was confused because
How are you confused?
Because
Alex.
my OB said expected to take up to a year. And so I'm like, oh, if in my head I heard at least a year. I was thinking we were going to be like bar hopping. It's like, nope. You're pregnant and you're going to be very, very sick. But I'm so grateful. I wouldn't change a thing.
Of course.
But it was not on my bingo card.
And when all this went down, like, I guess now looking back, what advice would you give to someone listening of like how to embrace when your timeline suddenly changes?
Oh, there's no such thing as a timeline, I think, is the bottom line. Things are going to shift. Like, life is ebbs and flows, and you just kind of have to roll with the punches.
And it hurts that people don't understand the kind of responsibility that was placed on her head so young, how that can breed thoughts, the kind of thoughts that it did, because she eventually said that she stepped back after just child after child, because she has 4 kids now. She's only 36 and she has 4 children. So she stepped back and she's like, whoa, like I've invested so much time into being a mother, to being the wife, that I kind of let myself disappear, you know, which is sad because she started doing those things so young that she didn't even have a chance to really get to know herself, especially as an adult, you know. I think that she deserves so much more grace. Also, this woman, she wanted to be an actress. So when you end up marrying this man and he becomes this incredibly huge basketball star, and now you're just kind of known as his wife, you know, it then becomes kind of impossible for you to say, I'm going to have my own dreams as an actress, because everybody sees you as his wife. There's no way you're going to be taken seriously. As soon as you walk into audition for anything, they're going to be like, hey, isn't that Steph Curry's wife? You know, so she lost that dream just by standing beside him to have his. And it's so unfair that we don't give her the ability to say that. We expect her to just do it and take it. Like, you've sacrificed your dreams, you've sacrificed your body at such a young age, you've sacrificed your independence at a young age, and you've chosen to make those sacrifices because you've built this life with this man. It's unfair for us to take away her ability to express that, especially in this climate where we're seeing so many people minimize the duties of women. I think it's important for her to be able to say out loud what she's gone through. It's something similar to what Michelle Obama did after the White House years with her and Barack Obama, where she came out to express how the presidency affected their marriage negatively. And on the outside, we're able to see so many people disrespecting Michelle Obama, calling her all kinds of man and calling her all kinds of monkey and all kinds of crazy stuff. And when she says, I've had things in my marriage suffer because I've, you know, been this wife to the president, and we see her suffering, or I don't want to use the word suffering, but we see her being criticized and so negatively. We don't know how that affected her. I don't want to say she's suffering, but I watched that happen to her and it made me feel bad. So for her to come out and us to be upset with her for saying anything about her own experience is a problem. And I kind of feel like that about Ayesha Curry. Like, that is her marriage, not yours. You don't know Steph Curry. You don't know him. You don't know that he's a great husband. You don't know anything. You only know he's a great husband because she said so. You only know he's this great guy because she said. You don't know him. Okay? So for you to come out and try to tell her what she has when you don't know that man, for you to come and tell her, yeah, I know that you sacrificed all the dreams that you had for yourself, but you should be thankful because of who he is. You should be thankful that he even wanted you. Like, the kind of things that you guys are saying about this woman are just cruel. I don't know if y'all, the audience here that's listening to the video, are a part of the conversation, but I beg anybody who is willing to disrespect that woman, to shame her because she feels a way about her own life that she has missed because she has sacrificed it to be this mother and this wife. Anybody that feels a way about her talking about her decisions to do that and how it's impacted her life should actually watch the entire video. Because if you do, if you watch the entire interview she did on that Call Her Daddy podcast, then you'd see that Ayesha Curry uplifted Steph and that she's madly in love with him and he is so important and special and such a big deal to her. That's the whole point. That's why she was able to do all of those to make all of those sacrifices, because that's how much he meant and mattered to her. We need to, in this climate, I think we love to minimize the value of a woman. We love to minimize and diminish it. Her future was put in the hands of this marriage and this man. And she made a conscious decision. She could have said, you know what? I don't see this for myself. I don't see marriage for myself. I don't see children for myself. I know you love me, but I'm not about to make that sacrifice to be with you. Instead, she did the exact opposite. Even though she didn't see marriage in her future, even though she didn't see children in her future, she sacrificed all of the dreams that she had for her future in order to be those things. She never said they were not fulfilling. She never said she didn't want to do them now. All she said was she didn't back then. And the other thing that bothers me with this is, I mean, she said she didn't want to be a mom and a wife before. If she was 22 when she got married to Steph Curry, and she's saying before she didn't want to be a wife and a mom, I mean, what is before 22? Obviously, her teen years. Obviously, that's as a child. So she can say, as a child, I didn't know that I wanted to be a wife and a mom. What is wrong with that? How many kids, how many teenagers know for a fact that they want to have children? She's a child herself, essentially. But she married the man, and right after she married him, she had children, and that engulfed her entire life. And you guys are trying to make her feel like because your husband is this big basketball player and has money, you should be grateful that you sacrificed your life for him. You should be grateful because money is everything, and that's what you have. So you should be thankful that you could sacrifice your dreams to be with him. I think everybody that's saying that, they come from a couple of different camps. I think the women that are saying that tend to come from the camp of, I don't have a Steph Curry. I'm either single or I have decided to settle for a man that is really not even close to a Steph Curry, and I am kind of bitter about it, and I wish I could have that kind of thing. It's those kind of women. Or men who wish they were Steph Curry and are seeing that even you could be with this big, huge somebody that in their eyes is like what a great man could be because he has money. And they think that, wow, you could be him and still the women won't be satisfied, all that stuff. Whereas I'm like, honey, you can be Beyonce and be cheated on as well. So, I mean, hey, it's life. But at the end of the day, both of those camps need to understand that, honey, this is not your marriage. You don't know Steph Curry. And secondly, this woman has been with this man since she was a teenager. She never had the opportunity to be like, okay, I'm an adult now. Let me weigh my life. What do I want for myself? She was already wrapped up in this relationship. Give her some grace, because she never got the chance she really didn't get the chance to say, okay, let me build on a career for myself at all before she ended up pregnant with a baby and married to this man. So I think people need to give her some grace as far as like feeling anything about it right now. And also, she definitely said she loves being a mother. I know y'all overlooked that. And I also, like I said before, I hate that people took off the part where she was being asked the question and they chop it so that it looks like she's just divulging this information because she hates her husband and wants him to be embarrassed. And I also feel like what is embarrassing about it? People are so vague. They'll just say she disrespected her husband. But where? What did she say that was so disrespectful? What was disrespectful in what she said? What? They couldn't tell you that she didn't know that she wanted to have kids or get married before she did, which essentially was when she was a child. What if she said when I was 19, like, should she have said when I was 19 years old, I didn't know if I wanted to get married or have kids? Like, is that bad that most 19-year-olds don't know that? Not for sure. Their brain's not even developed all the way. Most 18-year-olds, most 16-year-olds don't really know that. Most 22-year-olds really don't know that. Not really. And she already was married and pregnant with a baby at that age. She had the baby at 23. And then after that, she proceeded to have more kids. And that became her life. I think we need to give her grace. She sacrificed her body and her future and her life in order to be this man's wife. I think that, of course, he's a gift to her. But don't underestimate the gift that she is to him. She sacrificed her desires and her dreams to hold him down. She can say that she did that. She's allowed to say that. If anybody is allowed to say that, she is allowed to say that. You want her to have sacrificed her dreams and her career and her future for this person and say nothing and not be feeling anything about it. Like, not even express that she did it. She didn't say I regret doing it. She didn't say it was a bad thing that I did. And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't do it. She didn't say anything like that. All she said was, I didn't know that this was what my life was going to be. I never planned for it to be this way. I actually planned for it to be a different way. There's nothing wrong with that. But I say again, Steph Curry has a prize in this woman who knew him before he was a superstar, who didn't chase after him for him being a professional basketball player. She bonded with him and liked him as a person. She wasn't one of those, oh, he's a basketball star. That's why I want him, because I want to get him. He's going to get in the NBA. Let me push him to go be in the NBA so I can get that NBA wife check. And if she was like that, she would have been a gold digger. So at the end of the day, like, he has a woman that knows him, that doesn't care about all the glitz and the glam, who never cared about all the glitz and the glam, who was there for him before the glitz and the glam, who was there for him when he wanted to be a basketball coach and was fine with riding with him as a basketball coach because she cared about him that much. And he ended up being this basketball player celebrity thing that she didn't sign up for. Everybody ain't like y'all, where they're chasing after bags and shoes and money and looking at men who are successful and thinking that they're, more valuable than men that are basketball coaches or just chilling. Not to say basketball coaches don't make a lot of money, but homegirl would have been with him no matter what because she cared about him for real. It wasn't about the money. But I'm going to wrap that up. Y'all need to understand that it's okay for women to be teenagers and not know that they want marriage, not know that they want to have kids when they're young like that, and know, like, I want to be an actor, and think that that's where they're going, and then see their life change and talk about how it changed. They're allowed to do that, and you can't stop them because you are not in that family, and you are not that husband, and you are not that wife, honey. She can talk about what she wants to. This just impacted me because I hate when people like gatekeep like conversations that need to be had. Young girls need to know a lot of things. Like, young girls need to know, like, girl, having a baby is not easy. Young girls need to know, like, girl, a husband is not the easiest task. Like, it's not just cute and rainbow sunshine, and definitely, like, there's hard things that come with this. A young girl could be listening to her. A young girl that's 21, that's thinking I might want to get married right now, might listen to that story of Ayesha Curry getting married at 22 and saying, I never saw this for myself, and this is how it's turned out for me. I had to look at myself, step back and say, I've lost myself. People need to look at that and understand that that is a possibility when you do things like this so young. And it is a great possibility, and a lot of women have experienced it. I think people just have a bone to pick with Ayesha Curry because she said something previously that they didn't like. So they're going to take this and twist it and flip it, which is what they've done. They take away the part where she's being asked a question. They, so that it looks like she's just out here talking about not wanting to have kids at some point in her life, not acknowledging that it makes sense that it's before she was a grown woman that she felt like that. And just being disingenuous because they don't like the girl, because I think they wish that the Steph Curry was with them, honey. But honestly, that's all the content. That's all that I have for you today. And thank you for watching or for listening. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.